Hello and welcome to the Voice of Todd. I'm Tom, and today, this video, I'm going to review the first of today's episodes of The Expanse. This is going to be Season 5, Episode 1, titled Exodus. I'm going to be reviewing the entire series. Episodes 2 and 3 will be coming out tomorrow and Friday, respectively. But I thought we'd... Again, I'm still trying to refine this. I'm messing around. I am going to do a recap of what happened in the episode. I'm going to touch on most of the things. It's going to be spoilery, but I'm not going to go into great detail on it. I'm just going to give a quick sort of overview. It's probably not going to be that quick. I always say quick overview and we're here for like 70 minutes. But to give a quick overview of what happens and where our characters are. Sort of where we're picking up from following the last season's events. And then I'm going to go into my thoughts. So let's just jump straight in. We open up this episode with Rock number 9. Readers of the book will know how much of a big deal this is going to be for the series this season. Rock's been monitored by the UNS Hasami, which is a research station on the orbit around Venus. The station is promptly attacked by Philip Inaros, the son of Marco Inaros, this season's big bad, and he takes their data drives and the station is destroyed. We then jump over to Naomi over on Tycho Station in the Belt. She's she's heading up the team that's currently making repairs and upgrades on the Rocinante following last season's adventures through the ring. Now, Bull makes an appearance, who is the chief of security for Tycho Station. He's in the books. Well, he's in the third book, which we've passed. I'm not going to go into details on the character. I really like Bull. I think in the books, I think Bull's excellent. He has a really great arc. I feel that they're adding him in a little late. I don't really know why. This season is based on the last book that I've read. But Bull, he isn't very happy with the amount of time and free parts that Fred Johnson is giving to the Rocinante. So he's picking a bit of a fight with Naomi, trying to just flex his muscles a little bit as he's recently been put in charge of security, and I think they call him chief engineer in this. I think there's a slight different change to his character. But he's just flexing muscles a little bit, but as they leave the elevator, Fred Johnson is waiting for Naomi, pushes Bull away, and hands her a datapad with information of the location of her son, which is briefly mentioned in Season 4. Again, this is a slight diversion from the books, as far as I remember it. But it has been touched on previously in I don't know if it's Season 3 or Season 4, that Naomi has a son. And this season is seemingly setting up her journey to find him. We then cut to Amos, who's my favourite character now that Miller isn't with us in the human form, and certainly not as much. Amos is on a Belter freighter travelling to Luna so that he can deal with the passing of his mother figure from when he was living back on Earth. In true Amos fashion, he pokes the hornet's nest with a couple of con men, and he bloodies up quite a few people. Very quick action scene. We don't really see it, we just get flashes. But it's Amos being Amos. And what more do you want? That's why we watch this show, right? Holden, having been told that Naomi has things to do, has decided to go and grab some food on a bar in Tycho Station. And he's ambushed by Monica Stewart, the journalist from, I think it was Season 3. She may have been in the last one as well, I can't quite remember. But she definitely appears in book 3. She has a source that is telling her that there are people researching the protomolecule in the belt. Holden tries to brush it off, but as we know Holden and the protomolecule, he's really gonna jump headfirst in there. Alex, meanwhile, and this is our fourth member and the pilot of the Rocinante, fourth member of the crew, he's on his way to Mars to catch up with Bobby Draper, and try and build a few bridges with his ex-wife and his teenage son, who he's been estranged from for quite a few years, I think. Bobby's in the middle of a shady black market deal with one of the soldiers, a ranking soldier in the MCRN, She's buying some power armor. I wonder if she'll be using that later in the season. And she's just trying to find out where the leak in the army is and how this highly advanced tech is finding its way onto the black market, really. We then jump back to Holden. He just bolts his way straight into Fred Johnson's office, as he has done on many occasions before, and demands to know if Johnson and Anderson Dawes from many seasons ago, are researching the protomolecule. Johnson, ever the politico, is dodging his questions and just indulges Holden long enough to defuse the situation. We're then cutting back to Alex on Mars. He's finding out that Mars isn't the planet that he remembers, and it certainly isn't the way he left it. His ex-wife doesn't want anything to do with him, understandably. His son doesn't really want much to do with him, and they don't have any kind of relationship. And Mars itself is in a serious decline, and the strength and passion that was going to build Mars into this beautiful utopia of a world is seemingly dying with the sort of appearance of these ring worlds, and it seems like there's a big recruitment drive to send Martians out there to colonize some of these ring worlds. He does meet Bobby in a bar on Mars, and this is the coolest bar in the world. Well, it's not even in the world, it's in Mars. But this bar is just freaking cool. It's a Martian country bar, complete with neon hats, and I didn't catch what language it was in, but there was a cover of the Rawhide theme song that I know from Blues Brothers, but was a TV show theme tune, I think. It's crazy. There's so much going on in this bar. Bobby's pissed in general, but she's pissed at Alex for being quite optimistic, and really chews him up and spits him out in this one. She's obviously having a rough time adjusting to what's going on in Mars, and it's been shown in the last couple of seasons that she's sort of struggling. But she's generally just foul in this, which is fair. I mean, she's got a lot going on, I guess. We then jump back to Holden, who has returned to his quarters with Naomi, and she's packing to leave to find her son. She basically tells Holden she doesn't need his help, she doesn't want his help, she's going to do this alone, and then drops the bomb of who her son Philip's father is. This is actually a really nice scene. I kind of didn't buy into the Holden Naomi aesthetic in the show in season 1, but as it's gone on further, I think they've worked out what they're doing, and they do have some good chemistry. It's nice to see. It's quite a real scene, I think, and you do get to see. You do really feel how close they are, which is always nice to see. We then cut to Luna, the main station on Luna, as Amos is disembarking from his trip. He is summoned to Christian Avasarala's office. Avasarala has been stationed here after the events of last season as a big fuck you from the now Secretary Gao, who is a piece of work. I don't think anybody would deny that, but they both fought a pretty hard battle, and Avasarala has definitely come off worse. This is the scene of the episode for me. Amos and Avasarala are just... It's so great watching them just play around with each other. The dialogue on this is on point. Both characters are perfect. The castings of them is perfect anyway. But this scene just made the episode for me. And it's a very good episode. Don't think that it isn't, but this was just a wonderful scene. When you watch it, if you watch it, you will see what I'm talking about. But Admiral Delgado, we've seen him before in a couple of seasons. I think season 3 as well, maybe. We've seen him before. He bursts into the office. At this point, Amos leaves. I think Amos was pretty much done anyway. Amos is heading for Earth as Admiral Delgado informs Avasarala on any information he has for Marco Inaros. As I say, this season's big bad. He's the leader of a OPA faction who has not necessarily gone rogue, but is definitely doing his own thing and stirring up a lot of trouble. Avasrala seems to be burning up as much political goodwill as she ever had, trying to track this guy down. She's fairly convinced that there's going to be an attack on the inner planets from Inaros, and she wants to try and stop him. There is a couple of scenes after that. It's just setting things up and putting the pieces in place. That's not where we leave the episode. Our crew are obviously spread out. We're used to them being at least sort of two together and two together last season with Holden and Amos, primarily the two main on the ground, and then Naomi and Alex up on the Rossi doing their own thing. But this is very much a split crew. The Rossi's out of commission at the minute, and everybody is spread out across the system. So this is already taking a different sort of angle as the previous seasons have, which is true to the books, or true to this book. This is my second favourite book. I don't think you could beat Leviathan Wakes in terms of writing for me. I love the book and the story and how it's presented and the characters. But the story in book 5, which this is based on, it's nearly as good. It's exceptional. And I'm really excited to see how they actually do this. I mean, my general thoughts overall, The Expanse it's one of those shows that doesn't come around very often. It's top shelf. The CGI is amazing. The windows in all the sets and everything that goes on in there. There's lifts in the station that it all just, it's so fluid, yet it feels so real, but it's obviously CGI. The anti-gravity scenes, again, they're just amazing. Pouring drinks in low G. They really get it right. The space science, it's not fiction, really. It's more science-based, this show. And it shows, and it's amazing. The dialogue is some of the best in TV, I think, too. Currently, it's sharp, it's witty, it's engaging, it's true to the characters from the books. It does help when you've got the two writers of the books in the writer's room, I guess, or at least producing. But this is a special show. The sets are so detailed and amazing. You can see the Bezos dollars everywhere. The money is front and center, and it really pays off. It makes the world feel so real. In my Mute review, I talked about how real the world felt. Well, I mean, this isn't just a real world. This is a real solar system. It's incredible what they're doing here, especially with it being for... Alright, it's a streaming platform, but it's for TV. But about this episode, I think this episode is great. It gives you enough to keep you engaged. It keeps the story moving. It's not giving you everything, which is right, and it doesn't want to give you all the answers anyway. You've got to do a little bit of detective work yourself with this series. But it's showing you where the characters are. It's giving you a little glimpse of where they're heading. It did drop with episodes 2 and 3, as I've mentioned, but this still works as a standalone. They could have put this out on its own. It has its own merits. It's just setting everything up. It's picking up the ties from last season, and it's giving you a little bit more. I watched all 3 episodes this morning. I did just rewatch this one to do the review and do my quick write-up. They're all strong episodes. I will get into the other 2 in my reviews coming up next couple of days. But they are all strong, and they can all stand on their own. I don't know why Amazon isn't just doing them over 10 weeks. Maybe there was a change in the schedule and they decided to drop them weekly after seeing what The Mandalorian can do last year. I don't really know. I would have been fine if they just dropped this one. Because it gives you that little bit that helps you build into the story and feeds the hype. Yeah, I love this show anyway. I recommend this show to just about everyone. It really does have that special feel that the Battlestar Galactica remake had. In that it's sci-fi, but it's so vast, it's so open, it's so different to any other sci-fi that you've had, or that we've had in the past. It's not Star Trek, it's not Star Wars, it's not Firefly, It's not Buck Rogers, it's not Battlestar. It's closer to Battlestar than anything else, but it isn't. It's a totally different setup, and there's so much more going on. I mean, this is politically and sort of on scale, this is Game of Thrones in space. To really dumb it down, I think this is better than Game of Thrones. I think this is written better than Game of Thrones, and I do like Game of Thrones up to season 6, and I suppose up to season 7. After that, it loses me. But this is something special, and this is something that I think we're only seeing because of the streaming platforms, the amount of money that they have. But it's just a joy to watch, and I'm so glad we've got this to look forward to every week. Episodes will be dropping every Wednesday, reviews will be coming out on the same day, but because we've had 3, I'm spreading these out. I've had a couple of other things to do as well, and unfortunately I've had to report on the Firefly reboot news that's dropped, the rumours, so check that one out as well. But thank you very much for watching. See you all next time.